In this video, we talked to live streaming legend Luria Petrucci. With years of experience, Luria is an authority when it comes to streaming online. Leading a thriving YouTube channel with millions of views, we talked to Luria about her best tips to help creators make their next live stream their best live stream, and much more.
So I'm Luria Petrucci. My business is Live Streaming Pros, where I help content creators and entrepreneurs create more professional live video that's uniquely you. So it's really about two parts, like setting up the tech so that you have a professional looking quality video, but also not letting the tech get in your way, how to grow your audience with your personality.
That's great. What are your top tips that would help anyone dramatically improve their next live stream?
So one of the biggest mistakes people make when live streaming is waiting for the next person to show up, right? So like a lot of streams, you've been on them.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're just gonna sit here and wait. 2 people are here. Okay, 3 people are here. Let's twiddle our hair and wait and just pay no attention to the people that are already showing up. You know, it really presents a bad form for those people who do bother to show up. And you want to think about the replay. So that's really important to think about, like, people who are watching that replay, because that's where a lot of business can come, is that replay action. And so you want to get down to the business. That's one thing. Engagement. You know, a lot of people don't know how to engage properly. And what I mean, properly is probably a bad word, but what I mean by that is that people tend to think that they're asking for engagement when they're really not. They're not being specific enough. So really what you've got to do, instead of like, what do you think about that? You've got to ask, what's your favorite food? Right? Or a yes or no question, a closed question. Instead of, you can start with closed questions to get people to actually respond and give them direction in terms of responding. Otherwise, they're busy people and they're not going to take the action that you think you're asking them for.
So do you think it's better to ask open-ended questions for engagement or kind of binary questions?
Both, but in the right place. So people, when they're just getting to know you on a stream, or maybe they're new, maybe they're just kind of coming into a stream for the first time, but they've watched your videos, they're not necessarily trusting you enough. Actually, the thing that people don't get is like from an emotional standpoint, is when you're showing up on a live stream, in order to engage, that's actually an emotional commitment for people, right? It's not just okay, I'll comment. You have a lot of lurkers, and you have to get them to be connected. So you start with a closed question, a binary question, and give them a yes or no, give them a choice, multiple choice, and get them to actually take that first step of easy win questions is what I call them. Then, once you've gotten them to engage a little bit, then you can go deeper and ask those open-ended questions. But you never want to start people off with this philosophical question that's going to take you a lot of pressure and thought and time to type out, you know.
So you just kind of want to warm them up. So you'd almost like maybe start with a binary and then move more open-ended as they get warmer.
As they get warmer, as the live stream goes on, you know, you can kind of build on top of.
Got it. And then circling back to what you said about starting a live stream, do you have like a specific approach or formula that you use to kick off live streams so that there's not that dead space?
Yeah. In fact, I have a whole video about it that walks you through, and a cheat sheet and everything. But what it does is I call it a show flow, the structure of your stream. So you want to start off, this is a really good basic structure to a stream. You can nuance it and you can advance it. But to start, you just start off with a teaser, a hook. What is this video going to be about? That's for the replay viewers. No live viewers are there yet, so it's only for replay. Then you ask a question of the day, that binary question, that closed-ended question. And then you kind of introduce yourself really quickly, really casually. Then you just get into your topic. Just start going. If there are answers to the question that you asked, you could take a moment to say that or to respond to them, but you just want to get into the value as quickly as you possibly can. Then you break for engagement. then you get back into value point number 2, then you break for engagement, value, break for engagement, close it out. So you're thinking about your content in a segmented way. So you've got 3 segments, and in between each, you're engaging with people, but you're not breaking up the value proposition of what you've promised people to engage. Because the worst thing that you can do is be like, I'm going to share with you how you can live to 110 years old and never get wrinkly or whatever, right? Yeah. And then you're like, I'm going to share this one tip that you need. Oh, hi, Andrew. Oh my God, I'm so glad that you're here. Like, right? Yeah. That whole break of value isn't helping you.
Right. That's great. What is the best camera for live streaming in your opinion right now?
It depends on the budget level. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you want professional video, any of the Sony series, A series 6100, 6400, or ZVE10, those are all 3 great cameras. On the Canon side, the M50 Mark II, not the Mark I, Mark II. Those are all ones I recommend because they work really well for live. They're built for streamers and content creators.
And then what kind of gear do you advise to people who are just wanting to get started with streaming?
So audio is massively important, right? So you got to start with a good mic. A good mic, honestly, if you're not an audiophile, you could start off with an Elgato Wave 1 or 3, or, you know, this Deity mic is great, right? But that's a little bit more expensive. And so there are, just a USB mic is really what you're looking for. And so you want just a simple, good mic. The closer the mic is to your mouth, the better audio you're going to get. So you really need to think through that as well. Okay.
And then what's your number 1 tip for filming in general?
For filming, what kind of content? Like, what do you mean?
Any kind of content.
Okay.
Just one tip you would give to anyone that is shooting a video, whether that's live or an on-demand.
Can I do 2?
Yes.
Okay. So one, if you're recording, think for the edit, right? Record for the edit, and know what your end result is that you're trying to accomplish. Leave your editor or yourself breaks in between takes so that you're not there's no space to edit out a mistake. That's a really important piece. For any kind of content, live or recorded, your personality matters. A lot of people try to be somebody else, or less harsh, they try to be professional. They try and be presentable. And while your video should look good, the professional word shouldn't apply to your personality, because nobody wants a stuck-up person like who doesn't have any personality or humanity. So really allow yourself to be human and to connect on that human level. It doesn't matter how professional your content is or how business related your content is. People are going to connect to you on a human level, and that needs to be your number 1 priority.
You can learn more about Luria by checking out her channel using the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, YouTube thinks you're going to love watching the video on screen right now. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.